Muschamp first, and we'll bring Jake in here as well. Then the rest of our players will be out in front of the backdrop that you may have seen in front of our locker room.
All right, really proud of our football team. You guys fought tremendously and played a lot of snaps. I think 99 on defense. They drop back and throw it 70 sometimes. It spins you a lot. We got to stay on the field more in the second half, but offensively very efficient first half. Threw the ball extremely well throughout the game, and just really proud of how our guys fought. Bottom line, we played a really good football team. NC State's got a heck of a football team. Their front seven is as good as we'll see this year, and hats off to them and how they've recruited and developed their players. Dave is an outstanding football coach. But proud of our guys. Our crowd was tremendous, and really appreciate the Gamecock Nation and coming and supporting us. And certainly this is an area that's extremely important to us moving forward as far as the recruiting and the print of where we need to be successful. So it was a good day for the Gamecocks, and I'll open up for any questions.
Will, what was the halftime adjustment on defense? It seemed like you guys were much more aggressive coming out for the third.
Well, we got our four-man pass rush a little better, but in the first half, they had done, in my opinion, a really good, and I don't mean this in a negative way, the ball was out quickly. So I know we're all going to complain about pass rush, but it's hard to get there when the ball's out as quickly. And that guy's a very efficient quarterback. I said it all week. He knows where to go with the football. He was very accurate, and the ball was out very quickly. We got him in 2 third down to start the second half, and it was more of a drop-back game. So he held on to the ball longer. We had more time to get there. We went into 4 sacks, which was good. But at the end of the day, we needed to affect him more of disrupting passing lanes and things, and we did not. And I'll go back and watch the film, and we'll try and get that corrected. A real positive in the second half is we had communications with the press box. That was a lot of fun in the first half, and you had no connection with the press box. First time in my coaching career, so it's a little frustrating when you can't talk to anybody about where did the ball hit and where the ball was thrown. So hopefully we'll get that corrected.
Was it just getting new headsets, or did a
I don't
signal
know,
happen?
man. I'm not real good with all that stuff. I just put the headsets on and talk. And they've always worked in over 20 years of coaching.
Will, you had a couple of big turnovers. I know you worked on that all during the offseason. How big was that today?
Well, you see our guys going after the ball, and our defensive staff and our defensive players doing a fantastic job of really attacking the football, and that's critical. We're going to need to be an opportunistic team. The most important thing about this game is the ball, and name the game after it, football. And we've got to get possession of the ball, and you saw us on several possessions right there as the whistle's blowing, the ball's coming out. And our guys are very cognizant of trying to get the football off people. But I thought we did a fantastic job. We took care of it offensively. Chris was trying to make a play on the punt return, made a very poor decision. Let that go in the end zone. And I grabbed him when he came off. He said, "Coach was trying to make a play." I get that, but that flipped the momentum of the game and the field position. I mean, right there in one poor decision. He's better than that, and he'll learn from it.
What kind of weapon is Devo Samuel?
He's a really good player. Obviously, you start the game on special teams with a kickoff return, and he outruns a lot of guys, but it was well blocked. From my judgment on the sideline, I couldn't check with anybody in the press box, but Keel Pollard made a really good block and really did a nice job. But we had that game plan to bring that back to the field. We had been such a boundary return team last year and had a lot of success with it that we brought it back to the field, and it was really well executed. Coleman Hutzer does a fantastic job, and our players did a great job.
Will, you said all week that, one game doesn't make a season, but with all the buildup you had to this, can this have some positive carryover?
Well, certainly. I think anytime you invest a lot, which our players have, they work extremely hard. We hold them accountable. They need to get some return of the investment. When they put in a lot, they need to feel the gratification of that locker room, and that's one of the best feelings you have as a coach or a player. So, but this is one game, and we've got a tough one next week on the road. They scored 700 points today, or whatever they did. And they had 500 yards at halftime. So at the end of the day, it counts as one. We'll enjoy it tonight, and we'll go back to work tomorrow. We have a lot of corrections, but I do think when you play a team like this in this setting, that you find out a lot about your football team, and we've got a good football team. We've got to improve in a lot of areas, but it's one game, and that's all it counts for. And that's what I said last week. Win and lose, we can't draw anymore because we got overtime. But whether you win or lose, it counts as one, and we got to get ready for the next one. And at the end of the day, it's going to be about our preparation, and I think our players now are starting to understand about preparation, about practice, about walkthroughs, about meetings, and how critical and important those are. But we're going to worry about us, no one else.
Coach, how do you feel like your defensive line held up late in the game? They played 99 snaps. You talked about defense.
Well, again, they fought their butts off, and the only drive really in the second half was the end of the game drive, which I told T-Rod, make them spend time. They got to score a touchdown, so make them eat the clock. That's what we wanted. That was planned. And then the one drive they hit us on the stretch play a couple times, and it cut back on us. I think Naheem hit one for about 18 yards, and that was really a good run on his part, and they did a nice job on the backside. But Proud of those guys. We got to continue to bring them on. We got to get more production, and I thought when we did rush 4 guys in more of a drop back setting, we did a much better job than we did a year ago.
How do you think Jake played?
Good. I think that he was a little inaccurate in the second half, and that's something he'll be the first one that'll tell you that. But some of the big plays he creates, they went after him, and they hit him with 2 pressures at the end. They hit him with a wheel corner, and they rolled it to the field. So in his mind, he's protected on the backside. That's why he got sacked, because they rolled it front side and they zeroed out the backside. Not that that means anything to anybody in the room, but he thought he was protected, and that was a very good design by Dave Huxtable, their defensive coordinator. They hit the 3 in the middle on us when Boone 24 came free, which is a very difficult pass off on an offensive line. But those were the 2 big sacks. I think that was their only 2 sacks in the game, I think. But again, if you're going to pressure him, we got guys that can get open and he can put it. The 2 touchdowns were pressures, and he hit Debo and I believe Brian. I'm not sure on the other.
A lot of your big plays on
Does
offense.
this team have this? How much more confidence does this group have now in year 2?
Well, I think that this helped today because, again, as much as you invest, you need to get a return on your investment. And I think that our guys certainly will build from this. But the best thing is I sit in the locker room and talk to them about preparation and preparation for next week. And they understand that that's the most important thing. You got to continue to prepare. You can't have release syndrome that thinks everything's okay. It's one game, and we'll enjoy tonight and we'll move on.
A lot of your big plays on offense were after contact, whether it was Jake scrambling or Rico's touchdown or Devo's one-handed grab. Can you just talk about how big that is to keep plays going?
Well, as again, you're going to lock up one-on-one downfield. You better have good people because we do.
Your tackles offensively played pretty well, it seemed.
Yeah, I think, again, we neutralized a lot of things. I think we did a rope, and Wolf did a really good job of changing protections. They couldn't get a beat on always knowing where they could attack in the protection, and there was some 6-man, there was some 7-man, there was some 5-man. We've got to continue to mix that up. So I thought the game plan was really good and very efficient in the first half. The field position killed us in the second half. I mean, when we got banged in there inside the 10-yard line, it's hard to call plays when you're in those situations, especially against a front that was, in a lot of senses, gaining to a 9-man front. It was very difficult to run the ball. And against good players, too. It wasn't just numbers, it was players.
Well, you didn't kick a
Today's
field goal
throw
today, but if you had to have kicked one, would Wozniak have been the starter there?
Right now, Alexander would kick it inside the 30, and Parker would be outside the 30. To what yard line will depend on pregame at this time.
How did you feel going into the season, the unknown with the kicking game? How did you feel the guys came through in the first
I
game?
thought Joseph outpunted us one time. We were a little gassed trying to cover this Naheem, and he's a fantastic player, a young man that I've recruited before, and it was good to see him after the game. But he hung up a couple punts. We need more guys on special teams. Some of the ESPN guys came by practice Thursday and said, "Oh, your best players are on special teams." I said, "I know." We gotta get more guys coming on that. We got to get more. We added some young guys, especially I noticed on defense playing in the game, and we've got to get more numbers playing, especially the number snaps we'll probably play again this week.
You guys threw a lot of new guys out there today. Did you feel like most of them pretty much held their own and delivered kind of what you expected?
I think Eldridge Thompson on a critical play against their best player, Samuels. That's where they wanted to go with the ball. They ended up not being able to throw it. He had outstanding coverage on the play down there in the red zone. Really proud of him and his opportunities behind Sky. And I saw Sherrod Green. I saw Aaron Sterling. I saw Jemias Williams. Jemias covered the inside fade extremely well in the first half. It was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. That happens sometimes. You got to line play the next play. But those are the guys that jumped out at me that I know, and we need more of them to keep coming on. Keyshawn Nixon's a guy we need to continue to come up. Javon Kinlaw was a newcomer that came in and played extremely well. Kobe Smith's a guy that didn't play a lot for us last year, and is a guy that I noticed going in there. Dennis Warren continues to come on. He's a guy that set the edges. Dante did a nice job setting the edges. Kier did some good things for us. Danny Fennell gave us some snaps. When you're going to play 99, you better play a lot of guys.
No points in your
made some
last.
plays at the end of the game. What did you see out of him late?
Well, I think DJ is a guy that really has had some ability. I didn't think he always approached practice the right way. I think he's a guy that's really bought in and understood about to be a better, consistent performer. If you practice the right way, that's how you do that. And that's the one thing I've seen with DJ. He's been probably his improved player in our program since I've been at South Carolina. But it's his mind, and he's bought into how you prepare. I don't want to comment on the end of the games. I knew he did make some plays there, but I'll watch the film and know a little bit more. But he's been a guy that's been very dependable and very reliable.
No points in your final 5 drives. How much does that concern you headed forward?
What's that? I'm sorry?
0 points in your final 5 drives on offense. How much
Well,
does
I
that
think
concern
field
you?
position had a little to do with that. I'm disappointed we had the The 1 3rd down, I felt like if we had gotten the throw out in front, it would probably have been a first down, we'd been able to stay on the field. And then the 2 drives, I think, were field position issues as much as anything else. But it's something we'll certainly look back at. You know, again, I think that you look at the efficiency we had in the first half is something that we certainly can gain on moving forward.
2 more.
Is Sky okay? What, how about him?
Yeah, he was gassed. Yeah, was tired. Played 99 snaps.
What did you see out of him in his first game back?
What's that?
What did you see out of him? Did he look like the guy that you saw on film?
He's a really good football player. I'm glad he's a Gamecock. He's going to continue to play better and better and better. When you sit out a year, I'm sure it does knock the rust off a little bit. But in watching him in practice, he's extremely bright, extremely intelligent. He plays fast. That's what you're looking for.
All right, we're gonna let the coach go. We got a couple players here.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Guys, stand by. We got a couple players.